This video is to show how to do estimations of sums, differences, and products. So when you're adding really complicated numbers or subtracting or multiplying complicated numbers, and really it's appropriate to take a calculator out, sometimes it's a great idea to estimate using really just your mind and a little bit of steps on paper before you go head to that calculator, or to kind of check that you typed or what came out of your calculator makes reasonable sense. So two of the things that you're trying to do when you're estimating is to get close to the actual answer, to what would come out if you typed everything incorrectly in your calculator. But with steps that are so much easier to do than the original numbers, and you're doing it without a calculator, fully with your own head, but with minimal steps. You got to make it pretty easy or there's no point. So here's the first example. You've got a $2,343.62 mortgage payment each month for 30 years. It's a 30-year loan. And you're trying to figure out, how much will I pay over the life of this loan? And so when you start thinking about it, you go, okay, I'm paying $2,000 some odd each month. That means each year you're paying this monthly amount times 12. And then altogether, you're going to take that amount, and it's for 30 years, that's each year, so you're going to multiply that times another 30. And so because of the associative property of multiplication, you definitely could do this first. You could say, okay, 12 times 30. Well, 12 times 3 is 36. Tack on another 0, and that's 360. That's okay to do in your head. But this 2343.62, that's a little bit too much to do. So you take your calculator out and crank it out. But I suggest that we can estimate by rounding first. And the idea is going to be, we're going to round each of these numbers to one significant digit. We're going to go to the very beginnings of these numbers and round off to that place value. So we're going to round off to the thousands place on that number, and to the hundreds place on this number. And what that looks like is 2343.62 rounded to the nearest thousands using the same round off rules that we have in the past. That's going to be approximately 2,000. And then the 360 rounded to the nearest hundred, that's going to be about 400. So the final product, 2343.62 times 360, is going to be approximately 2,000 times 400. And how we can do this, because of so many zeros, we're basically going to say 2 times 4, that's 8, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go, oh, okay, it's about $800,000.